Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show, and thank you for tuning into the Women Are Worthy network on YouTube. Y'all, you know how I get all geeked out when it comes to people, right? But before my team starts giving me this look, let's talk about general housekeeping. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe to the Women Are Worthy network on YouTube. Who came up with that? Moi. So let's get to it. I want to make sure that I remind everyone to make sure you're sanitizing, you're social distancing, you're masking up because we want you safe, okay? So on our show, I have the amazing, now mind you, if my energy goes up, y'all know how I get, okay? We have the amazing Nic King. Nic is the CEO and founder of, come a little closer, of Legacy Cereal Company in Connecticut. Nic has initiatives that addresses the current food desserts in urban communities with his company. He advocates and educates youth by creating a catalog of nutritional products. So not only has this man created and founded an amazing company and product, he's giving back by educating people and empowering people. So without further ado, the Women Are Worthy show, the Women Are Worthy network, and Jackie Charles, we are honored to have the great Nic King, and that's Nic, N-I-C, King, A-I-N-G.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Definitely one of the best intros I've had so far. And I appreciate your energy for sure.
Well, okay, let's get down to it, because I'm telling you, when I did my research and I spotted you, I said, he's mine. He's coming on the show. He's going to share some tips. Yeah. Because you're not only a creator and a founder of a product, you're also giving back. So Nic, my question to you is, what gave you the audacity to think that you can do this?
I got to attribute my audacity to my faith. I'm 100% faith-based, so believing in God and believing that He's going to get me through whatever I need to, and He's going to be able to open doors. That's 100% where the audacity came from. But also, I'm naturally a little bit more of a rebel. I like anything that seems challenging, anything that people will probably say like, "How did he?" or "You can't." That kind of falls into my wheelhouse. So, when getting this amazing God-given idea and inspiration, I definitely checked it and said, "Oh, this is something exciting. This is something that I can make a huge impact in."
So how did you come up with it? Because here's the issue. So many people have ideas because the most millionaires that we have right now are in the graveyard. Okay, they're buried with their ideas and treasures. My question is, what made you decide that you wanted to do this? Was it because of lack of representation in the African-American community that represents cereal? What made you decide to, because you didn't just wake up one morning and say, maybe you did, but maybe you did, but what made you decide to choose, the cereal journey?
Right. Funny nonetheless, I did wake up just like that. That's exactly how I woke up. It was 3 a.m. And which, interesting enough, I just found out during some conversations that 3 a.m., 4 a.m. is a spiritual time. I didn't know that, but it was 3 a.m. and that was the idea on my mind. So it's definitely like a cross between both. Then after just literally a quick Google search, I typed in, and this was after the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. I typed in Black-owned cereal companies, just thinking to myself that there's going to be one. And then when I didn't find any, that for me was shocking. It's at that point it was 2020, late 2020, but it was 2020 nonetheless. And I said, wow, this is crazy that there isn't a Black-owned cereal company at this time, and really starting to think why. And what you said was 100% spot on. A lot of our dreams our dreams, our aspirations and things just die for one reason or another, just life just being too much, or because of people not having that audacity, as you would say, to really get it done. And for me, I said that this is a really big opportunity for me to really make change and kind of show, even as our culture, most importantly, that we've come from some of the greatest inventors and the greatest first. And, getting back to that power was huge for me.
Well, you've definitely inspired me because I'm like you, and I use the word, and I'm just being facetious with the word audacity, and I think you catch on. And I love that because you decided this is what I'm going to do. Let me figure out how to do it. Now, there's a difference from thinking it, dreaming it, and actually achieving it and doing it. So, can you just take us through the steps when you woke up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and you were researching? What was the next steps and what were the challenges? Because we got to talk about obstacles because people think that stuff just land.
Right.
Just saying, wait a minute.
Right.
Don't want to do that. But people think that things just land in our lap.
Right.
They don't see the hard work, the sweat equity, sometimes the tears, sometimes the banging on the table, because sometimes you get a lot of no's and people don't understand the 99 no's and you're still pushing forward. So can you just walk us through that, please?
Definitely. And a lot of it really early on was what you said, research, starting a company or launching a cereal company is not something that, I didn't go to school for. I didn't know, from right from left. And it's like, how do we start? How do I get it in stores? How do I manufacture the product? What are the actual legal steps that I need to go through to put the company in place? So I would say there was months and months of research. And I guess the hardest part is, you can Google how to start a hair salon or how to start a landscaping company. You can't Google how to start a cereal brand, So I literally had to find bits and pieces on different platforms online or on the internet that will either bring me to a YouTube link or it'll bring me to something that keeps data as far as manufacturing and things like that. So, that was the biggest process. But I think as far as when you start to go into the hurdles and the things that happen behind the scenes, a lot of people don't, especially people who already succeeded, they don't go back and tell you where the struggles came in and how to navigate your way around it or through it. So, for me, if you look on my social media pages, I document, the struggles, and I've been documenting this journey from the beginning, just because I knew I was embarking in something different. I want to be able to leave that blueprint for another Black founder to go, okay, Nic, Nic, you didn't just see the Forbes article, you didn't just see the news articles, you also see the trials and tribulations as I'm trying to raise capital, which it's data shows. So, under 3% of Black founders, get venture capitalist funding. So if you look at those numbers already, there's a huge disparity as far as Black founders raising a business. So that's where our dreams die as well. We can have a phenomenal idea, but if you don't have the funds for it, that's where it stops. So the funding and navigating that, realizing, there's a possibility, there's a big chance that I won't be able to get, venture capitalist funding early on because I'm coming out super radical, disruptive, saying I want to start a cereal company. I want to, I want to talk Black ownership in a cereal industry that's over 100 years old, being the first to do that. But then also to tie back and say, I want to show Black representation, on a cereal box. I knew that wasn't going to be widely accepted. So I said, I have to go crowdfunding. Basically, and for me, it's putting the product back in the hands of the community, telling the Black community, urban community, of those who just support what I'm doing, I need funds. I need to raise capital in order to branch this business out. If this is something that you believe in and want to support, whether it's $1, this is how it works, and kind of basically educating, everybody on that. So there's so many different pieces down to the manufacturing. Again, you have to kind of, unfortunately, there's not a Black cereal manufacturing company. So at all stops, I have to end up working within the system regardless. And you have to find ways to navigate around that because it's not going to be easy, especially being the first.
So how did you come up with the name Proud Puffs?
It goes back to that 3 a.m. It might have been 3:30 at that point maybe. But I've always been. I watched a video recently around maybe about a week prior to that, and it said to ask God bold questions, and that was the main premise of the video. So for me, I was, that kind of echoed in my head as I'm just kind of sitting there, and I'm just like, okay, bold question. I was like, this clearly isn't my idea. I would have absolutely no idea, where the cereal idea came from. I'm in arts, I'm in fashion, I'm in music. That's my world. So now that I have this idea, I was like, I need a name. And I'm literally just kind of sitting there, and the word proud kind of pops to my head. And, then I just kind of try to pair it together. I was like, Proud Flakes, that doesn't sound great. I was like, Proud Puffs. And then, fast forward, Proud Puff cereal's been born.
So where can I get this cereal? Where can I get it?
Right. Yes. Right now we're in the space to, one, we're searching for a manufacturer that's willing to work with us. We've scaled to a certain level to where working out of a small commercial kitchen just isn't going to be enough. So unfortunately, we have to go inside of the big machine and play ball, as they would say, and play nice. Until we get ourselves in a position to where we can create our own manufacturing facility. So right now we're in the stage of finding a manufacturer, which has been a journey, but I have faith that we'll find one really soon. So hopefully, by fall, by or before fall, we have officially locked in a manufacturing and we can start shipping out and selling directly from our website.
Well, here's the thing. It's not hopefully.
Yes.
I believe in manifestation. You put it out there and it's going to happen.
I like that.
You've done so many things to this level.
Yes.
I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. God is not going to leave you right here because you went through all of that just to leave. And sometimes it's a test to see, do you believe when I say higher power, do you believe in God? Yes. First of all, and if you believe in him, and this is just something I'm putting out there too.
Please.
That he is not going to leave you. You are the first, you're not the last. My brother, listen to me. You come from people that created the pyramid, kings and queens. He ain't going to leave you right here. The stoplight. Do I need to go on? Okay. This is minute right now. It may, trust me, look, I'm speaking to myself too, okay? It may seem as if it's hard, but he has a bigger picture because I believe sometimes God is one of the worst jokers out there when it comes to God, really? And you're like, come on now. So there's no way, because of your intentions, because of your sweat equity, because of hearing no's and being the rebel, because we all know how many rebels were in the Bible, every last one of them, okay? There's no way he's going to bring, if there's anything, my brother, I can tell you, there's no way. And also, however we can help, you let me know and I'll put it out to people. You know what I'm saying? Because definitely when we have our other show, I need to see some boxes there, okay? So, but my thing is, our people need to also understand, give me the hookup, give me free, we can't be doing that. Let's invest in someone where they're at that level. Then they can say here. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to put that out there and just to know that you're doing something amazing. Don't you dare, even on some days when you're questioning yourself or the world, don't you dare step, because I'm telling you, I'm going to get on the plane and I'm coming to Connecticut, okay, and give an old-fashioned beat down because you're doing such a great job. Sometimes we need to hear that because when you're in the cubicle, you're in the bubble, you can't hear these things, and I've done my research on you, and it's amazing. What I do challenge all people is to invest, and also the Black community, especially the ones who haves against the haves not. Come on, you're not losing anything. Invest in us so we can then invest in other people and other brands. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna see what I can do, like I said, because you're doing. I'm not promising nothing. I'm putting it up to God. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing. I'm open to sharing resources and things like that. So I'm all about that because think about this. When you walk through that door and you go through that glass ceiling, it's going to be easier for everyone coming behind you. So we just need to push you. Boy, I feel like I'm doing a motivational speech right now. Interview.
I'm taking it all in, and as you said, when you're so deeply immersed in the business, you really don't know. Like it's me every day, and as I'm starting to build out a team, I've been doing this by myself for the last 6 or 7 months. So when you're so immersed in it, a lot of it is just like, all right, everything's on me. I'm handling the market. I'm handling the business side. But I've always told people that words of encouragement goes a long way. And what I will say, and again, as I document everything, breaking the negative stereotype of those who told me prior to it that Black people don't support. And when I tell you that majority of my campaign that we've raised, probably over 80% has been Black funded, because people get it, and the intentionality that people are leading with is different. And as you stated earlier, me diving into the community to start and I feel like the cereal industry and what I'm building is really just a vehicle to get to the philanthropy work, because
right.
I'm noticing the impact that I'm already having there, and how it feels while I'm doing it is onto another level. So I'm excited, 100% fully believe in it. I've gotten this far, and I don't intend to slow up ever.
Exactly.
So, thank you.
And if there's anything you need us to post or put out, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when one thrives, the rest survives. Let me write that down. That's gonna be my next talk.
I was like, I gotta jot that down in my head too.
So just understand that, so you've gone through that. You told us about the name. Yeah. Where do you see your company, Legacy Cereal Company? Where do you see this in 5 years?
Oof. So that is always a tough question to answer, and it's not because I don't have the vision and know exactly where it is. I again, going back to my faith, a lot of people, when I have these things, they interviews, they say like, wow, so how many years have you been around? And I'm like, at this point, we're probably around maybe month 5. God has expedited so much for me. I don't want to stunt my growth and say, in 5 years, and he has a completely different plan. What I will say is deeply immersed in the community. Our last event that I teamed up with another foundation, we gave a little bit over 100 boxes of food to start in urban communities, most importantly. And we want to continue to build that out as much as possible. When you start to notice people coming out and coming out in large numbers, you start to realize how much work, how much we need in the community. And I think people need to. It's a scary thing, especially for those in business, to put impact over profit. But that's where my mind is. You know what I mean? I think someone at some point, everyone, when they look at it and they go, numbers, is he going to sell? How do you market this, et cetera, et cetera? And sure, it's a business, so it needs to be in there. But somebody has to raise that impact slider a little bit more to say, how is it impacting our culture? How is this impacting the world? Are you going to be able to impact Black founders or people of color, in the future? And that's really, where my mind and my intentionality is.
And I think that's where it needs to be, because again, if you're a game changer, you got to change everything. You can't you have to do things that are not the norm. And I'm with you on that, because for me, I'm hearing, what is your demographics? How many people did you get? And what I do, because of what I've gone through, I'm all about the community and giving back, mentoring and doing events and, just talking to people and hearing their stories. Because once you do that impact, the profit will come, because they see that I'm on the same page with you.
This is the conversation that needs to be out there, because we're dealing with, especially when we're talking about investing in business, we're dealing with a lot of older mindsets, to where everything is just about profitability, and no one's tested out impact over profit or increasing the impact slider, because that number, people are always focused on that number. And like you said, when the community knows that you're leading with intentionality, they go, all right, you know what? So we're buying his cereal, we're supporting this, and he's in the community, and he's giving back, and he's talking to the kids, and he's employing other Black folks that look just like us, or etc. Those who actually need it, like that is a game changer. And I think right now, especially with the climate of the world, the perfect time.
And I think because I was telling someone this, we were talking, and they're like, Jackie, because I've had people approach me to do things, but not every money is good money, right? And I'm firmly believing I want people to be aligned with me, but some won't, because I'm like, okay, let's do this, go left. And they're like, but if we go right, we'll make it faster. So that's where, I'm right now. But God keeps telling me, because every time I'm like, I feel like the air is coming out of the balloon. He's like, get up. He don't even give me a chance to cry. Like, oh my God, woe with me. He's like, no. And I've noticed the people that struggle, go through obstacles,
Mm.
those are the ones that he builds. When they say God doesn't give you too much if you can't carry,
Mm.
I'm like, look, God, my shoulder's heavy enough. I don't need you to give me no more to carry.
Mm.
But he's building your muscle, because great things are demanded of you. That's going to happen, but you have to go through these obstacles. So when you're at that pinnacle, you can then share that story. And I keep telling myself that, and I'm like, okay, I don't need to go through this. I don't need to go through that, but
Right.
I see what he's doing. And again, I commend you for doing what you're doing. My question to you is,
yes,
you're a man, and I always ask, does male, female, why should women why should women support each other? Because I'd like to hear from a man's perspective.
But it's a great question, and I think that the biggest thing, and I was raised by women. My brother's younger and things like that, so I've always kept women around my circle. And for me, I think women are the most like powerful being. There's never, men have a lot of testosterone. There's always a lot of jealousy and envy, and I think that women are critical thinkers naturally. So the lens and the landscape, even when breaking down how I'm making the cereal and different ideas and concepts that I have, I'm calling my sister. I'm on FaceTime with my sister after every idea, after every investment meeting. Like, those things are key. So I just know, in short, that women are the foundation of everything. And without that, women support overall, like it's hard for the world to function, if that makes sense. So just really tying it back to support, even looking at the rallies and the marches, and I'll just use this as a quick example. If you look at who's leading a lot of these rallies and marches, is women. You know what I mean? Like that's just that will give you the best view. It's not the strong, muscular, I'm in the gym black men or men. It's always women that are on the forefront of these marches and things like that, and wanting to change the world. So I think that part is super important.
Why? How can Women Are Worthy? How can Jacqueline Charles? How can we support you? Because it's so, we'll do this. I think it's important to listen.
Yeah. How
one wants to be supported.
Definitely. I would say the biggest thing is network. A lot of people, I guess the easy answer is always to say money, but monetary value only goes so much. After you've given me $20, it stops. One of the best conversations I've ever had was I met someone on a social media app, and they were like, I don't have any money to invest. Obviously, going through COVID and things like that. But I do know a person that works at a magazine. I can pass on your information. And that opened up doors for 2 other opportunities. So I'm big on networking. If you know someone that knows someone that knows someone, and they're able to get the message out, that's key. And I think the biggest thing is brand visibility, especially for those independent brands that are doing it on their own. We don't have Kellogg's and General Mills's, $100 million marketing budget. So everything that we do is word of mouth. It's grassroots. It's very strategic. So I would say just sharing that message for sure.
And I think it's time, talents, and money. So if you ain't got the time, the talent would be also, networking. Who do you have, or whatever the case may be. Yes. And is your food, just wanting to know, does it have any animal products in it?
No. Yeah, no, 100% vegan, plant-based. I wanted to make sure we were, especially because a lot of our demographic is the Black community. I didn't want to just put another big box of sugar. We suffer from.
Well, we need to connect. We need to connect because, like when I told you about the other thing we're doing, we need to connect, because I'm all about, supporting other people, them supporting me, but supporting other people. So we need to get it out there, because I'm in Atlanta. It's huge out here in the plant-based world. We do a lot, and I almost think I know everybody sometimes. I almost think, because I've been doing this for a minute, and I come from a medical background, but I chose, like you, to just walk away from that and say, this is what I do. So I understand. I'm telling you, the marketing, I'm one of those people who just give me a camera and I'll smile. Let me throw some makeup so I can look pretty. But when I realized the back work, the marketing, the website, you know, all that stuff, and meeting with people. So I try to be intentional and bring people on the show, because I created the Women Are Worthy show / network, where people can talk about the obstacles they've gone through, their faith, and how, and I don't even have to bring up God, but whenever someone's, you know, God is always in there, because some people were nervous about me talking about God. And I'm like, okay, and including me, because I'm like, I may offend this person, that person, but every interview someone says the God, or if they say higher power, they talk about God. So while you're in this, because I had to learn this, creating my own brand and what I'm doing, I wasn't getting no sleep. I was up, maybe I sleep probably 2 hours a night, okay? Drive my husband crazy. But what are you doing to, sometimes you need to shut everything down and get away. Are you balancing yourself now? And if you are, what are you doing?
I'm learning to balance myself. Again, you know, I've always been like a one-man army. Hopefully the camera isn't too close, but if you can see, I've been working on my skin routine.
I got you hooked up, so you can't tell. You're glowing right now.
I appreciate it. I've been working on my skin routine, trying to keep the skin tight so the bags don't show. But you know, just like you just said, you know, weekends are always a lot lighter for me. You know, I really want to kind of dedicate that to relaxing, reconnecting with family or friends. Obviously, my son's a little bit older, so if he ever gets away from the video games, you know, taking time to, you know, enjoy life. So getting out of that 9 to 5, if you know how the 9 to 5 works, especially 9 to 5, you know, retail management, you know, that's your life. You know what I mean? Like there is no weekends off. They're extremely long hours, 8-9 hours. So now that I have, you know, I'm building out Legacy Cereal Company, even though it is, you know, still long hours, I can navigate when it's time to shut off. I can be like, all right, you know what? Nope, I'm planning a dinner tonight. Don't schedule me any interviews. Don't schedule me anything, you know, or I'm taking this weekend off and I am going to binge watch probably TV shows that I'm a little late on, but, you know, I'm going to enjoy myself. So for any creative, it's always good to shut off, because that's how you rejuvenate your mind. You're watching different shows, different ideas are kind of popping in your head. You're listening to music. You're catching a different vibe, a different energy. We need to recharge. Crystals need to be recharged. We need to recharge too.
And oh my goodness, where's my crystal? Because we're supposed to have a full moon tomorrow. I'm all about my crystals. Nice. You know, I was recharging them yesterday, because I know we're supposed to have a full moon tomorrow. Because all my people on my page know I love full moon. So this guy's like, Jackie's going to be a full moon on Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah, because I left my crystal on the cars for the moon, and I do grounding. I picked up all my other crystal, but left one, drove in the morning, and somehow the crystal fell. Okay, so it's okay. I bought another one because I need to, with this energy. So, because we're all energy. Money is energy. Money is right in front of you. You just have to reach out and get it. So, you know, it just has to, it's traveling towards you. You got to think and know that it's here, you know? So I just want you to know that, you know, but I believe I'm with you when it comes to recharging, because I'm like, I was like a little, you know, ever ready bunny. I'm like, and I'm like, because when I don't sleep, it's worse. It's worse on people. And I'm like, and I don't drink coffee. So can you imagine if I was drinking coffee? I just have to, and sometimes since I motivate a lot of people, sometimes I'm my own motivator, you know, and it can be kind of tough at times, because if people are not in my space, they don't get it. Because I have some in my space, but they have that 9 to 5. This is my 9 to 5. Okay, this is it. So as long as I'm hanging around like-minded people, sharing ideas, I'm starting to do more of that, exercising. I eat well, juicing and shutting things down. I'm learning on that, learning to take my doggone phone out of the damn room and put it in another room, because it keeps going off. So you guilty of that?
I'm not there yet. Yeah, no, I have 2 phones, my laptop and my tablet. I'm not there yet, but I respect.
You will be there. You will be there, because, you know, your cereal is not just going to take over North America. It's going to be overseas. It's going to be in Africa. We're putting that out there because you're creating such a wonderful thing for people. And the fact, look, baby, it's vegan. I got you.
Love it.
So, yeah. And so what I want to know from you, what tips would you give someone who's an entrepreneur or would-be entrepreneur? What 3 tips would you give them?
Oof. I gotta start with this. Your dreams, your ambitions, etc. They're given to you for a particular reason. When you share these things, there are going to be a lot of people that may project their fears onto you. The reason why I kept my brand quiet and I didn't tell anybody until the day I launched it, because I know they would think I was a crazy person. Hey guys, I'm launching a cereal company. What? Why would you do that? You can't do it. There's General Mills. Even as I'm going through the process, I've had other people that I've looked up to, investors, people that I just meet. It's too black. It's not going to work. Never going to work. Your demographic's too small. It's just, you're not going to be profitable. But I know it's my vision, and no one's going to be able to take me out of my vision. God's given me this vision for a reason, and I have to stay the course. So I'd say that for sure. Protect your vision. 100% sacrifice. That's huge. A lot of people want to get to the next level, but they don't want to sacrifice. When I said for 6 months, if not a little bit more now, I've had to sacrifice a lot of the great foods that I love indulging in. I was like, you know what? I can't eat as great as I want to because this is going to be expensive. So I'm going to have to minimize, the style and the cost of what I eat. I traded in my car, my baby that I loved oh so much. I had a very nice sports car, V8. It was beautiful, but I knew it couldn't come along with my journey because it was a very expensive car. So I had to downgrade. So sacrifice, protect your vision. Sacrifice and have faith. Again, I think a lot of my family now at this point, similar to what you said, are way more spiritual than religious. So for whatever it is that anybody believes in, have faith. That is going to be what gets you through those no's. You will get a lot of no's. You will get a lot of obstacles in trials and tribulations, but that faith will 100% carry you through. I'll pull that one. That one goes first, actually, and then we'll do the other 2.
Have faith, protect your vision, and the 3rd?
Have faith, protect your vision, and sacrifice.
Okay. We have a Rashad Lewis. He says, "Good evening. I need that cereal." Rashad, what were you talking about? I need that cereal too. I'm telling you, I'm pimping that cereal.
I appreciate you guys so much. I say this in short: Legacy Cereal Company and Proud Puffs and what we're building. Our mindset is completely different. General Mills, Kellogg's, respects to them. That's a 100-year-old company. Our mindset and our intentionality on how we want to build it out. Working with millennials and Gen Zs and the way our brain works, even down to the design of our box. And I'm not going to give away too much because I know there's listening ears, but we're getting so creative with what we're building out. But I just want to thank everybody, most importantly, for supporting me in this. One of the hardest things I had to do was, once we had a manufacturer kind of back out, was to tell everybody, you know what, unfortunately, we're not on schedule of where we want it to be. And that was a difficult thing to say, because I'm so excited. Like you said, I was so immersed in it. I was so, Like it was a hard thing, but to get people to say, listen, I understand. Keep going. Keep pushing. You're creating. You're making history here has been huge. So I have to thank everybody for their support.
Rashad Lewis, what I want you to do, my brother, I need to make sure you share this. You tell everybody to watch this because we got to get this cereal out there. This cereal is healthy. Let me be your PR person. I got this for a minute. Okay. So we want you to make sure, Rashad, seriously, we want you to share this. We want you to talk to your family, the people that are in your community. If you get them to get some of the cereal or even support what he's doing, and then if you know 10 people and they know 10 people and 10 people and 10 people and 10 people, this would be a dream. Because one thing I'd like to say to you, Mr. King, is when God gave you that vision, he gave it to you on the phone, and because I'm so in love with the Matrix. It was a private phone call. He didn't put it on a conference line.
Yes.
Okay. So you got to remember, you got to stay the course. Your job, you still remain. Look, you ever need some excitement or like, Jackie, I need you to pick me up. I got you.
I love
Okay.
it. Yes.
Because it's hard as it is in this country. You can't come. They don't. Some people don't think you could compete with the General Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me. You can. Okay.
Yes.
And the great thing is you have time on your side. And when I mean time, you're younger,
Mm-hmm.
you're dynamic, you have a new vision, you're sacrificing, and it's something new that we should all, because you feel it in the pit of your stomach. We all should be feeling that in the pit of the stomach. It's vegan, it's plant-based, it's healthy. It's not going to give us high cholesterol, diabetes, and all that kind of stuff. It's healthy. So this is something that we should be running to. All these plant-based things that we have out there, they should be, look, I got you. I'm already thinking of 5 people in my head right now. 5 people. So Rashad, please make sure that you support him. Where can they go to support you? Like if someone wants to say, hey, we want to put $1,000, $1,500, $50, $10, where should they go right now?
Easiest place because it connects you to everything. We just did a little update on our website. Just go to Proud Puff. So it's proudpuffcereal.com. That'll pretty much take you everywhere. I mentioned earlier we're rewards-based crowdfunding. That's where you can tie in your pre-orders. If you did want to pre-order a box, we keep everybody updated via email. My assistant, special shout out to Naomi. Huge part of the team. She's called everyone that has left a phone number. She's called them directly just to say, hey, this is where we are. Unfortunately, we're behind schedule. We appreciate your support. Like that's where we are as far as customer service. But as far as the brand, proudpuffcereal.com, we have our links to everything. It shows what we've done. It shows what we're going to be doing. That's where you'll be able to find me the easiest.
So, Mr. Lewis, again, go to his website, proudpuffcereal.com. You'll find everything there. So even if you're speaking to a couple of guys, you're getting your hair cut, you're taking your chick out at night, your wife out at night, just make sure that you share it. Because again, we have so many young and older people who have dreams, but their dreams are helping the community. And anyone, it doesn't even matter white or black. He's trying to change the dynamics because think about this. This is how I look at it. If you're helping people, okay, especially in the African-American space, you're helping because people are eating the sugary cereals and the instant oatmeals, and they're not doing the overnight oats, so they're doing instant oatmeals. That's sugar, right? So you're bringing down with proper exercise on their part, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Think about that. So what you're doing is you're allowing the people you're putting good foods, you're giving it to them, they're putting good foods in their mouth. And I always say, when you put good things in your body, great things come out.
I like that. Yes, definitely. Like you said, it was just very important for us to create a plant-based vegan cereal, something with natural sweeteners. And, there's a couple cereal brands out there that are doing the same thing, but their focused consumer is adults. And I'm looking at it going, why is no one putting this in front of children? And this is why I wanted to create my box the way I designed it and still be fun and interactive. And even our logo and our design and all the other stuff. And I'll put it out there now, our coloring book that should be coming soon. Again, the reason why we're focusing on children is because that's our future. So we got to make sure we're putting the right stuff in the baby's bodies too. We can't just say, here, go eat a box of sugar, because when they get to school, then their energy levels start to crash, and now they can't pay attention to school because one, they went through a sugar high, and now they're exhausted, tired, they can't focus. So really focusing on kids and on children, making sure that one, the cereal tastes really good. That's most important. But second as well, that they're putting a healthier product in their body versus a big box of sugar at the end of the day.
Right. And let me know, like I said, look, you've been looking for a spokesperson, let me know. Let me know. But even forget about that. What you're doing is intentional.
Yes.
It's a God gave you that dream. You were sleeping. And again, what people need to understand, when you get a dream, you're not the only one getting that dream. There are other people getting the same dream, but it's who, because I think people think that, oh, I thought about this. And Bill Gates wasn't the only one that thought about Microsoft. You know, there's other people that thought about that, and Apple, other people, but this, not the same name, but the same concept. But it's who's going to cross the finish line. You know what I'm saying? It's who's going to cross the finish line.
I want to use your word. Who's going to have the audacity to put the plans in motion? And what you said is huge, and I'll make that part short. You know, there's been numerous times as a creator, I would come up with an idea, and I'd be like, all right, you know what? The 9 to 5 life was just too busy, and I just went back to focus on that. And regardless of 6 months, a year, 2 years from the line, I'll see that idea, and I'd be like, oh. You know, and it happens like that. You know, again, like you said, you know, God puts it out there, and it's whoever decides to really move their feet and who's ready for it. You know, I wouldn't be the same person I am now if I got this level of attention when I was in my 20s, and I was just as creative, but I was way younger and a little bit more rambunctious. You know, now that I'm a little older and I'm a little bit more grounded, I think God said, all right, you know what? I'm gonna give you this one. Yeah, I think you got it. I think you can hold it. I think you can. You'd be able to contain the tension and all that other stuff that's on you now. Because I've never wanted to be famous. I've always wanted to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy because I've always believed in generational wealth. And I know that this is. I always said there was going to be a time to where, and I think the time is now.
And that's so true, because for me, I know when I was younger and, you know, I was in corporate America and everything, and I had, you know, demanded and God, and, you know, and I'm like, God, why didn't you let me do this when I was older? He's like, Jackie, because you wasn't prepared. You was a cocky little thing in corporate America. And here you have to be a little bit more humble, you know, and you also have to do the networking and these things. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'm placing you here because I'm putting you in a space because I'm going to make you, you know, you like to speak, you empower, you help women. You've gone through a lot. Now I understand why he made me go through this when I shouldn't have gone through that, because he figured you can take it to the next level instead of just like, you're not ashamed of what you've gone through. You can do this. You were homeless. You went through sex trafficking, set up a date rape, blah, 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 blah. You now can take that story and share it with other women and be relatable. You know, because before, how can I let you do all of that when you were training doctors and all that? Nah, you wasn't ready for that then. Now you're ready for it. Because I think he broke me so he could make me. You know, and I'm like, yo, bro, when I say he broke me, he broke my behind, okay? But again, so how important it is that your community supports, because we talked about some things. Why your community support each other? Because we talked about why women should support each other. We're constantly hearing, oh, you know, Black people don't support each other, where you and I know that's not true. But you may have some doubters out there that we need to not win them over, but understand the importance of supporting a man who has a company.
Yeah, I think that the overall support in general, if people understand how it works, especially if it's used the right way, you know, we're supposed to be lending that hand back down to pull people up. That's just the way it is. You know, as I'm building out the company and things like that, you know, the intentionality, to go back to it, you know, when I wanted to do my trademark attorney, I'm looking around and I happened to come across a woman, a Black woman, who's a trademark attorney. And I can't remember what state she's in because I would give her a shout out. But I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. And you know, that level of intentionality, hiring my assistant. There's a few people that offered, but I said, you know what? Black woman. You know, I know the foundation, I know the work ethic, I know the vision. You know what I mean? Like, that's another, you know, piece of my intentionality. So it's super important as far as supporting each other. It logically makes sense, and that's how we pull each other up. And I think what happens is there's been many instances to where we didn't. Somebody will get up and it'll be like, later guys, and they'll keep it moving, you know? And I think that's the biggest thing. So we have to build that trust within each other again. And I think that's the biggest thing. And that's why when people ask like, what do I need? Or when I'm building that customer service piece and I'm reaching out, or I have Naomi reaching out to our customers, it's because I have to reconnect that trust part of the community. Because $1, $2, $8, I gave you my money. Where's my product? I don't have you know, it doesn't matter. Target can mess up so many times. Walmart can mess up so many times. And culturally, we'll forgive them. Target messed up. I hate them. But we'll go back. But when it's one of us, it's I'm not doing it anymore. I try to help out Black businesses, and they didn't deliver my stuff on time. We have to reconnect that trust. And I'm here to have that conversation. And then I'm here to also add in the educational piece if there's another piece of that layer that we're missing.
And I agree, because what I try to do, what I am doing is, even with my show, when my people send out the letters, I make sure that I want to do a pre-interview. I try to do a pre-interview. And if I don't get the pre-interview, which is very rare, I want to have people come on before so they can get to see who I am. Let's have the conversation, because I want to build up that trust. And was I guilty of the same thing? Because I think I give great customer service, because customer service can make or break a business. And I think companies need to know that. So for me, I wanted to, and you mentioned something and I was guilty of it. No, I'll go back to Target. I'll go back here, but I ain't going to. They ain't got customer service there, and then I don't want to deal with any African American businesses, because I was guilty. Let's be transparent. I was guilty of that, and then I realized, but Jackie, there are other African American businesses out there that are doing great. You just have to give them a chance. So you can't block other people because of one company. So what I've learned to do, and what I'm doing now, is if I have a bad experience with any company, I'm calling them and having a conversation. I don't think it's right, because usually if it's a Caucasian company, you walk away or whatever, but a couple of days later you may go to the other location.
Right.
What I am doing, being intentional, is if I have a bad experience at a location, I want to speak to the manager. If I have a great experience or a good experience, I want to speak to the manager.
Yes.
The manager, because what I do when I go to a restaurant, or past what I do now, teach my assistant, my interns, that when you go out to a restaurant and you have a good experience, I bet you if you have a bad experience, you're going to call the manager over. Because I'm playing this game when I go to certain restaurants, and I'll tell the waitstaff, send your manager over. And they're like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? The manager comes over and he looks like, what's she going to complain about now?
Yeah.
It's not that they've seen me, but I've been hearing so many complaints today. So I tell them, sit down. And if I'm sitting with someone, I ask them to move over or get up, sit down. And I'm like, look, I got issue. And you see his face or their face. And I'm like, I had great service today. When I tell you they want to comp my meal, and I'm like, no. People are so quick to complain. They're not quick to compliment. So I choose to have this conversation. So we complain a lot. If someone does something, just say hello, good morning, thank you, because you don't know what life you're changing. So my brother, I love what you're doing, and I keep saying it over and over again, and I want to make sure we get it out there. We got to get Proud Puffs out there. We got to get your legacy brand out there. We got to let people know you're doing a coloring book, and there's so much more that you're going to be doing, because again, this is Nic King. He's a CEO and founder of Legacy Cereal Company. Are y'all listening to me? I want to go to his website. Go to his website. It's nutritional, value. I mean, that's what you need to do. Go to his website, because I'm posting the link. It's proudpuffcereal.com. And you see his shirt, it says Proud Puff. Talk about marketing, talk about branding. Okay. He's not, now I don't know why he wearing that Nike hat, and that Proud Puff hat should have been on there.
It was
it's okay.
Yeah. I had to put the hat in the washing machine. And
I get it. But I am not putting not a damn thing on. If you ain't sponsoring this itch right here, we are not giving you no free money. That's Nike, $1 billion company.
Nike has to call me now because I'm wearing it on your show.
Exactly. And just to let you know, you may want to check into it that Michael Jordan is he's working on, I think it's 10 million or 100 million, something like that they're working on for African American owned businesses.
Okay.
So you want to check into that. So when I don't normally get stuff, so I'll send you some stuff that I get. But again, my brother, I'm just proud of you. I feel like we are related through Christ because I can see, I'm telling you, I'm looking at you now and I'm telling you, you bet not, when I get ready to call, I don't want to hear I hear Naomi's like, Naomi has an assistant. That assistant has an assistant. I got to go through 10 different doors just to get to you because you're on Forbes magazine.
Yes.
You're traveling. You're giving cereal to Africa. You're giving them water. You're doing all these wonderful philanthropy things that a sister can't get you. So I want you to remember now. So you let Naomi know that when I call you, because I'm giving you 3 years, you're going to be there. Okay?
Yes.
So not to be a millionaire, you're going to be 3 years where you're doing all that other stuff. So you're going to be a millionaire before that because it's important we talk about money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, we should not be shy to say we want to have not rich generational wealth. We want the generational wealth so we can pour back into the community, and it takes money.
Yes. No, agreed. Agreed 100%. And that's why I called my company Legacy Cereal Brand, because that's really what it's tying back down to my legacy. And you said, money is power. And at the end of the day, a lot of the trials and tribulations that I have to go through, especially when it comes to manufacturing, I'm going to build facilities I'm working on it. Okay, I know I'm paying attention to the time. I'm waking back up. I'm going to build facilities so, people of color have something. They have accelerator programs. I can guide them and walk them through how do you get in Walmart, how do you get in Target, how do you make product, what the actual process is. Because when I say I'm catching hell right now myself, I don't want them to have to go through that experience because someone that doesn't have the same drive, discipline, and perseverance that I have will give up. And
right that you have. Yeah. So and I want to see, because what I like is you're actually, when you're breaking barriers, and people don't understand, when you're the rebel, the disruptor, and you're the one breaking the barriers, it is so hard. I'm not even gonna say, oh no, it's hard. Especially when there's an establishment out there, because I hear people tell me, well, if why don't you send some stuff to Tyler Perry? Why don't you look? No disrespect at all. He'll find me if that's what it's meant to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it won't be a leg up like knocking on the door or whatever the case. I'm not saying that. But I'm not one of those who's going to sit here and wait for Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry didn't wait for nobody. He created his own. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at things. You can't sit and wait for A, B, and C to help you. You got to show them that you put the sweat equity, you put the money, you sacrificed the car. Some relationships went broke. Some relationships just left because the woman or the man like, go get a 9 to 5. What you mean you can't take me out? What you talking about? Right. That kind of thing. And I'm just wishing you. And I just want you to know, I want abundance of blessings, prosperity. And I'm going to call, because I'm on a huge prayer line, because today we was talking about you on the prayer line, but I called you King Nick on the prayer line, because I know your name is Nic King, but I say King Nick because you will be king of what you're doing. Okay, so I'll continue to uplift you on the prayer line. Anything that you're like, hey, Jackie, you know what I'm saying? Don't just always ask. I mean, the worst I could say is no. You know. But I will definitely, send this out to a lot of people that I know, have them go on there, buy the cereal. I'll do the same thing and, eat it on one of my shows, like y'all on that other show I was talking about. But say, hey, this is what I'm eating, like do a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and, I'll definitely do that. So, just let me know what we can do. And because we're both going to the next level, and whoever gets there, I'll definitely see what I can do. Whether I get there, not whether, I'm going to be there, because I already got the personality, so I'm going to be there.
It is. I love it.
So let me know again if there's anything we can do. We want to thank you for taking your time, your energy, and your efforts to be on this show, because there's so many other things you could be doing. And we want to thank you. We want you to know that I appreciate you, and I'm not taking your time for granted, because you can never get time back.
Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the audience. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. And people don't realize, but this is huge. Lending your platform to be able to speak about what we have is big. So you have direct access to me forever. So I appreciate, you heard it here, right here. I can't take that back.
That's true. It's taped. It's taped.
Once it hits the internet, it's gone. So
that's true.
Thank you.
So we want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we want to remind you in order to join our tribe, you must subscribe. Subscribe to the Women Are Worthy Network on YouTube. We're going to have so many more shows, so many more things that we're doing. This is my passion. I love this. So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in.